Hello people and welcome to this new class in where we are gonna see the interface of InDesign. First of all, we have our new document open. We can see the paper with its margins and the bleed. If I zoom out, then we can see as well this space around the page in this another kind of gray, which is the paste board. This is an auxiliary space which actually is super handy to paste different images, vectors, or whatever can help in our project. We saw already in another class how to modify the size of this paste board using the preferences command. Okay, so let's move farther from our page. Then we find the rules. We have the horizontal rule and the vertical rule. The units of those rules are set already in the preferences command, but from here, if we hover over the rule, right click, then the different units are displayed and we can change it from here easily. We should repeat this process in the vertical rule as well. If I move up, then I can check here the name of my document and title 1, and this 50% is talking about the zoom. If I look down, I will check that here we have the same percentage and I can change it easily. Let's say 25, and it's like I zoom out a little bit. Then we have this outer ring around the workspace with many different panels. On the left side we find one of the most important panels. It is called Tools. I can drag it and move it wherever I want. I can collapse this tool panel in just one column or expand it, make it horizontal, vertical, and one or two columns. In case that you close it and then it disappears, don't panic. We can go over Window and look for Tools. Here it is. One click and it is back immediately. In this toolbar we will find a super useful tools which will be analyzed one by one in the different chapters of the course. Now I will drag the bar and place it on the left side of the screen. Let's move clockwise and then we find this top bar, which I used to call it control bar. This top control bar is related with the tool already selected before. For example, you can check how this selection tool is already selected, and then the control bar is showing us possibilities related with this tool. But if I switch to, for example, this page tool, click, then the control bar switched as well, right? Another example, I pick now the type tool, and then the top bar is showing us the different fonts available, the size of that font, caps, superscript, underline, etc, etc. All features related with the type tool. Moving now to the right side of the screen, we have the floating panels. Notice about these little triangles. We can either expand the panels or collapse the panels using them. Right now we have two different columns. In the first one I find just one floating panel called History, and in the next column we have many more organized in kind of different groups. You can see lines, horizontal lines separating different groups of tools, right? The thing here is that we can drag and move, for example, this group of tools, place it here, then if I hit on pages, the floating panel is already open and layers and links are already there in this kind of open floating panel. I will collapse it. I will put it again on its place, and pay attention here because you can check how now this group of tools changed. This is because if I drag and I move any of these floating panel, I can put it inside another group. This swatches panel, for example, it was independent before, but now I will place it inside this big group of tools. Here we are talking just about organization. You will find step by step what is the most suitable organization for you to get the best workflow possible. Another aspect to take in mind about these floating panels is that we will always find all of them under Window. If I click Window, then I will be able to turn on any of the panels. Example, the first one right now is Pages. I am dragging the Pages panel here, then I close it, and in case that I want to recover it, Window, and I hit Pages. Here it is again, and then I can move it wherever I want. Let's continue moving clockwise, and then we find the down bar. Firstly, we find this button. Thanks to it, we can easily split the layout view. One click, and here we are. Let's undo this last step, just clicking again, and we recover the previous view. Then we find what is called pre-flight menu. I expand it, more options appear. Not the correct time now to study these options. The same with this another panel, basic working or digital publishing, and moving more to the left, we find the number of the page in where we are working on and the possibility of moving forward or backward in the pages. To finish the class, let's talk about the menu bar. It is placed in the upper part of the screen, and in this horizontal row we have more and more options. Firstly, we have the Indesign icon. Once I click it, you can see that I can close the file, minimize it, maximize it, etc, etc. Not important. Then we have the home icon as well. Click on it and we will travel to the home page. We call it welcome page as well. We know how it works. So let's go back. One click on here, and then it comes the important ones: file, edit, layout, type, object, table, view, plugins, window, and help. I can expand all of these labels and many different options pop up. Now we are under file. Let's have a look into edit or layout, type, object, table, view, plugins, window, help. We will see mostly all of these options. Some of them are repeated with the tools shown on the screen, but others are just there and we will need to study them in a deep mode. Moving to the right, we find this blue button, Share, in case that we want to share our document online. This is one of the newest features in InDesign. Moving to the right, we can read Essentials Classic. I expand this panel, and then we find more pre-configured workspaces ready to be used just by one click. This is what we will study in the next lesson, how we can better configure our workspace and save it. Next option, Adobe Stock. I guess that you know this platform. I will type in car, enter. Then Adobe Stock is already open on the internet, and we can download images or vectors, videos, etc, etc. Well, time to say goodbye now. You have an overall vision of the interface of InDesign already, and in the next class we will talk about how to configure the workspace in InDesign.